A letter to Gen X from God. Dear humanity, I need to vent. You remember them latchkey years? Coming home to an empty house, a box of Kraft macaroni, and a television set that required you to adjust the rabbit ears just to get a sticky picture of the evening news? We learned early on to look at the world with a healthy dose of skepticism. We didn't buy those glossy commercials, and we sure didn't trust those slick talking heads. We prided ourselves on being able to spot a phony from a mile away. But somewhere along the way, the world changed. And from where I sit, high above the atmosphere, watching the spinning blue marble, I spoke into existence. I see a generation that survived the grunge era, falling for a whole new kind of noise. You see, I gave you a guidebook, the Holy Bible. It wasn't a corporate manual, it wasn't a political platform, it was a love letter, written in ink and sealed in sacrifice. It was an operating manual built on mercy, justice, and absolute truth. But man, in his infinite desire to serve his own appetite, decided my words needed to be rewritten to fit the digital age. Today, people are actively gutting the scriptures, ripping out pages that challenge them, and twisting the rest to fit a completely immortal ideologies. They bootleg the truth. They reject me entirely, so they can justify their own immoral desires. They distort my words to excuse their sexual immoralities, treating sacred boundaries like outdated suggestions. And, worse yet, they rewrite the very value of life itself to defend the murder of the unborn, sacrificing the innocent on the altar of political convenience. They take my name and slap it on a manufactured culture war, using it as a weapon. They log on every morning ready to worship at the shrine of the algorithm, letting talking points dictate how they treat their neighbors. They have made an idol out of being right, completely forgetting what it is to be righteous. They have traded an anchor for a curated timeline. They think they are fighting for freedom, but when anybody dares to stand up and speak the unfiltered truth, the world strikes back with violence. Look no further than Utah, where a young man named Charlie Cook stood on a campus courtyard, refusing to compromise my words for the convenience of modern culture. They couldn't defeat his message, so they used an assassin's bullet to silence his voice. They took a husband from a wife, a father from his children, and they made him a martyr for the very truth they tried so desperately to erase. But there's a twist in this broadcast, because despite the noise, despite the corruption, despite the endless feed of manufactured outrage, the static cannot go drown out the truth. The sellouts always fade away. The trends will burn out. The servers will eventually go dark. The ideologies that feel like concrete today will become nothing more than a historical footnotes on tomorrow. But my word doesn't need an update. It doesn't need a marketing team. It remains exactly what it has always been. The only truth when the static clears. Signed, your always loving God.